Hi, Soumi.
Hi, Pavel.
To the viewers, this is Soumi Mukherjee. She is currently an engineer with Brosa Engineering Automotive, and
Yes,
she's here to talk. She's here to talk about a very important topic that is quite prevalent in our society, especially within our amongst our parents. So the topic is marriage is considered to be a milestone rather than a special event in our lives, especially in the case of women, and uh, quite often in the case of men as well.
yes.
So, Somi, you know that these things are very prevalent, especially you being an NRI and you being part of this problem. How do you see these things?
I think that this is going to be a prevalent problem right now because of a lot of factors. Because we are we are millennials, and we are living in a society where women, even men and women equally, are educated,
Hmm.
and especially women have found their new independence, which was not the case before.
Right.
Most women have found their independence, and because of that there is a clash. There is a clash with the old thinking of the society and the new generation of women who are currently staying in India as well as outside India, like me. So I think it is going to be there, and we have to, give a proper explanation for why do we choose to be uh, single, or not committed by choice, or even by mm, like with the help of different people. But I think this is a prevalent problem right now that is arising because of the conflicts, the newfound independence of women in our society,
Okay.
and we are here to talk
Hmm.
about that. Yes.
Talk about that. So we basically can start with something from the perspective of the previous generation, and then
Mm-hmm.
probably we give our own perspective, and then we see
Mm-hmm.
how much of a difference we both basically have.
We both have, yes. Mm-hmm.
So if we were to talk about the viewpoint of the society or the viewpoint of the previous generation or the people
Mm-hmm.
taking care of us, our
Mm-hmm.
parents, our grandparents, or it can be our relatives. So
Also, yeah.
it can be our relatives also. So what do you think? What do you think are the possible perspectives from their behalf?
From their behalf, I have came across, like I have myself came across a lot of perspective that that they have, a lot of concerns that they have, which
Hmm.
are valid in their case. Like they are in from their point of view, if we think that they are right.
Right.
So I would name a few of them. For example, the first concern that comes is that you are aging, like you are 30, you are 29, 30. This is the right time to get married. This
Right.
is the first point that they say. The second point is that most of the time, when I hear it from my peers also, they say that, oh, you are getting old, your childbearing capability is reducing,
Hmm.
and after 30s, it is very difficult to bear a child. So this is what I hear mostly from my peers. And it sometimes also comes from grandparents who will say ki yaar, nati ka muh dikha do, and all that stuff. We come to hear about that also. Then
Right.
the third issue, the third concern that they also say is that you will be left alone in the society, and everyone will have a partner. You will be left alone in your old age. There should be someone to take care of you or to be with you. So these are like different stories that I hear from different people. Like they show this concern a lot to me, and I
Right.
think all the women out there also have heard of all these kinds of stories.
Yeah, they somehow try to melt our hearts by saying these things, but sometimes they're very convenient when they say this. So by convenience, I mean sometimes they say that yes, before I die, before I fall sick, I want to see my children get married, and I want to see my
Mm.
grandchildren. So these are all these are all dreams of theirs. Do you think these?
Mm.
Okay, we'll cover that. Do you think their dreams are convenient or not in another section? But in this section, there are something other things also, like being brainwashed by the society. So if even if our parents are very educated, well educated, and quite forward thinkers, there's also somewhat to an extent brainwashed by the relative, by the society, that
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Exactly.
your child is no more a child. You're basically, he's an adult, and he is in that age to get married. And this can be also part of being brainwashed.
Yes, this is, I think this is also kind of brainwashing, and this is also a kind of influence that the society puts on in our parents. Like our parents, for example, if they would look at us, they would say, do whatever you feel is good for you.
Right.
They would always say that, and
Right.
they mean it when they say that, do the things that you think are good for you. But
Right.
then there is peer pressure on them, and then there are relatives, there are neighbors, there are people who will keep taunting them. Oh, your daughter is 30, your son is 32, and they are yet unmarried. What are they doing? Why don't they get settled? I
Right.
mean, there is a definition of settled by the society. If you are married, you are settled. If you're not married, you are not settled. So I think there is a clash.
Yes.
Settled people can be unsettled even after getting married.
Yes.
So there is this problem with our society. Like, even if our parents want to be open minded, they are always in a clash with the other people
And with their own minds as well, they sometimes
and with their own
contradict
minds as
themselves.
well. This is how it is influencing them, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, so
So
this is one problem.
that's right. We are basically diving deep into our viewpoint now, since we have already given the viewpoint of the society. So basically, it was about, now we had entered through they how their perspectives don't actually match with us. So if we
Mm.
were to talk about the age factor, do you think age has a big role to play in getting married at all? What
Uh,
is your perspective on this?
my perspective would be like, age is not a matter of fact. It's not a matter at all, because if you find someone who is good for you at the age of 35, I
Right.
think you should get married at 35. If it happens
Mhm.
at the age of 40, you should get married at the age of 40. I live in Germany. I have met with a lot of German people, and I'm not saying that their society is better than us or something, but they have this kind of open mindedness about marriage. They don't think that marriage is a milestone in their lives. When they feel that they are ready to start a family and they are all set about it, they
Right.
have their mind into it, and they have the right finances, the right resources to take care of a family. Only then they decide to get married and settle down with a family. But I know I had colleagues who are like 38, 39, but they're still single, and then it doesn't matter because that's how they enjoy their lives.
Mhm.
So I think age should not be a matter in the first place. If you find somebody who is good enough for you late in life, or even earlier in life, you should get married at that point of time. So
Okay.
age should not be a bar.
So if you think you were to get married somewhere in, so for example, in later in your 40s, would that be
Hmm.
comfortable to you, or would that be something of a challenge to you, because your family has never gone through that, neither has any of your friends, or this is completely you. So you
Hmm.
going through this untraversed road, as in where people have not gone through. Suppose you being getting married at 49, for example, would that be a challenge to you, or would that be somewhat of an good experience to you?
I think it won't be a challenge for me. I know that people might talk about me. If I stay in India, they will definitely talk about me getting married at 45, 50, because that's not the right age according to them to
Right.
get married at 45, 50. But I think it won't be a problem for me, because I would do the things that are right for me.
Right.
And if I have to think about the society, there will be people who will keep telling me at the age of 22 also that I should get married, at the age of 30 also that I should get married, at the age of 45 also that I shouldn't marry right now. So
Right.
people will talk no matter what you do.
तो लोगों का
So
कहना काम ही है,
लोगों का
ये
लोग तो
कहना।
कहेंगे
हाँ।
कुछ भी कहो.
Right.
So this is, I think this won't be for my personal way, for myself it won't be a problem, but I cannot cater to the needs of the society, right? I
Right.
cannot do
Exactly.
what they think is right for me.
Exactly. And sometimes, have you been asked this question? Have you been told basically that you are not right, you're not in the right age to decide all these things for yourself. You need someone who's experienced. Your parents are much have gone through a lot more of an experience to select someone for you, and to make the decision of you getting married. So have you been
Mm.
told such things before in your family, or have
I
you
have
ever heard?
been told, yes, I have been told that I'm not grown up enough
Exactly.
to decide for
Yeah.
myself. But
Right.
I think in India, the adult age starts from 18.
Right.
From 18 to 25, let's say, most of the men and women, younger men and women, they need guidance from their parents. But after 25, I think a person should be grown up enough to take their own decisions. Even if the parents, you can take suggestions from them, you can take their opinion from them,
Right.
but again, it's your life. So after, if in your life, if any mishap happens, for example, you buy a house now without with their consultation, right?
Right.
And they say that no, buy this house and it's all yours, it won't be a problem. But
Hmm.
now let's say after 5 years there is a problem, there is a land issue and there is some coming up,
Right.
then you will blame your parents for their suggestion, for the decision that they took.
Yes.
So the idea is, even if the parents say that you're not grown enough to take a decision, or we are experienced and something, I think every person, as they go into adulthood, they get their own experiences. Like,
Hmm.
you build your own experiences, your parents cannot build the experience for you.
Hmm.
All they can do is they can give their wisdom to you, what they have experienced in life, but you
Hmm.
still have to build your own experience, right?
Hmm.
So the idea is not to blame them for any kind of mishap in your life.
Right.
So in for that to happen, you should take an independent decision, and you should tell your parents that this is my decision, whatever happens, I'll be responsible for that. And once you are ready to take that responsibility, I think your parents will understand. Like, if anything, if your marriage goes wrong, you
Hmm.
will be responsible for that, not your parents. So it's good
Hmm.
to give them a, freedom in their old age, that they shouldn't be blamed for anything that happens in your life,
Yes.
right? I think this is important. Parents and the older generation should try to understand that this is not the way anymore. Like, they cannot take decision for the children, not like
Because
the adult children, I would say.
yes, you're quite right, because I feel they find it very unconventional for us to find, because they were never told to find someone in their ages, in
Mm,
their in their time of marriages. They were never asked to find a bride for them or a groom for them.
exactly.
It had to be
Mm.
it had to be done by the parents, and it's very difficult for them to see us doing quite the opposite. So
I think this is one thing. This is because we cannot blame them all the time, because
yes,
this is how they have grown up. They had a society which was kind of a little more closer than now.
right,
So they are influenced by all those thought process, by all those ideologies,
right,
right?
right. So it's a very connected theme is like being convenient. So
Hmm.
we have already discussed this, but we can just discuss a little more that to them it feels it is like before they die they want to see our grandchildren. Before they die they want to see us getting married. Before they die they want to see us give our high school exams. Before they die they want to see us pass our engineering exams. Or
It's
what is your take on
it's.
this? So everything has to be
I
done
think
before
this
they
is
die. Even
the,
probably they
the
would probably at some certain age they will ask, before we die we want to see you not die.
exactly. And I think this is the most funny thing I have ever heard. I think this cannot be done. Like, I cannot put my life into jeopardy because my parents want to see me settled. I'm not like being rude to them or something like that,
Right,
but I think everyone has their own individual life,
right,
right? We came into existence because of them.
right,
Now the idea is that the problem with our parents is that they try to, have a hold on us all the time.
right.
Like, before they die they want to see us fly, before they die they want us to be successful. I
Right.
think marriage and death of somebody can never be calculated, right? if
Yes.
if something happens to our parents, we cannot say that, no, I didn't get married so my parents have suffered, or something like that. So
Mhm.
these are both independent things, and both independent events, and they happen independently, none of them are connected. So if they say like that, I think it doesn't make sense. Like, they should go up above this. And marriages are something that are not, they just don't happen overnight,
Right.
right? So even children, they don't happen overnight. Any of the things that we think are big enough, are big decisions in life, they don't happen overnight. You need time for that. What if in this planning phase something happens,
Mm-hmm.
somebody dies? Can
Right.
we help that? We cannot.
Yes.
So people should try to understand that these are independent events. This should not be connected. And the moment
Mm-hmm.
they start understanding that every person's life is individually different, I think people will start making sense. Like they will understand that no, my wishes are, I should not put my wishes on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes not only in terms of marriage, in terms of career also. I have seen a lot of children
Oh yes, that's
whose
right.
parents are
Mm.
uh, we both know this issue, whose
Yes.
parents actually keep forcing their wishes on their children,
Yes.
and they don't understand what the child actually wants.
Yes.
So this kind of this marriage and these things are all the same things. Like if you keep imposing your wishes on somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think that that person will uh, do? Like, are they, is it what they want? Like, is, are they happy with what you want, or they have some other wishes? So people need to understand that we, like, our lives cannot depend on somebody else's wish, and
Mm-hmm.
that includes our parents too,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So this should be clearly said and clearly cleared with
The
through conversation
independent
with
events,
our
basically.
parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, if does this happen with your parents?
Fortunately, my parents have not said that. Fortunately, my parents are very open-minded.
Uh-huh.
They do, like every Indian parent, they keep telling me about marriage, but the most important thing is that they never forced me for it. They
Mm-hmm.
said that do what you think is good for you, and when you think is good for you. And they have never, like, imposed their decisions on me, be it my career, be it my decisions in life, be it my decision for marriage. They have always supported me, and I'm lucky, like I'm really lucky to have parents who are very open minded. But this is not the case with every one of
Every parent, yes,
us, like,
that's right.
yeah.
It's not the same
So
for everybody. But it's
yes.
quite good that your parents have probably sustained the storm of from the other relatives that you might have. They asking them to, or they convincing them. But that has
Yes,
not
they
happened.
have a lot of neighbors, a lot of relatives who keep telling my mother that, oh, your daughter is almost like postgraduate, she's working, she's
Hmm.
independent, now she should get married. I mean, it's
Yes.
like, you know, you let the bird fly and then put a string on her feet and pull her down,
Good one. Yes.
right? So
Yes.
it feels like that. But my mother, like, mostly it happens when my parents go to a shadi, like they go to an invitation, and they watch others, like all my peers are married, all my friends are married, and they go to their shadi, and then they get questioned, like,
Hmm.
when this is, the next is your daughter, the next is
This is
your
your daughter.
son, like that.
And they
But
under
my
pressure.
parents, they keep quiet. They say that, they answer that, well, they are grown up and they have their own life, they should decide for themselves what they want.
Hmm.
So this is how my parents deal with them.
Hmm.
But of course they get questioned all the time, and
Hmm.
that's what influences me also. Like they keep questioning me, what is your plan,
Hmm.
like, what do you want to do, what is your plan? And then I have to make a plan and tell them that this is my plan, please keep quiet, I will get married when I find the right person for myself.
So
So
do you
this is
keep
what I'm doing right
so,
now.
so do you keep your plans always ready for people or relatives who ask you, or do you just refrain from answering?
No, I will. I will. I think I should not. I'm not answerable to everyone.
Exactly.
All
That's
I
the
will
key point. No?
answer is to my parents. Like
Yes.
when they ask what my plans are,
Yes.
probably I will answer only my parents. For others, I still have to find a way out. Either I have to keep quiet or let things go, because you cannot answer every person, right?
This is a
You
difficult
cannot
choice
keep.
for other women also. They have the same problem, I believe. They have the same
Yes.
problem that they don't have an answer. They know that they are not responsible, or they're not what do you say, responsible to tell people, other people who are not in their lives, but they still ask, and they don't the women don't have any answers to this. They don't know how to. Some people
So
know, some people doesn't.
yes, I
Yes.
think I if I had to be in that situation, luckily because I'm not staying in India, I haven't faced that
Hmm.
personally. But if people keep asking me that same nagging question, I think I have a friend who she keeps asking me the same question, and
Right.
I just laugh and let it go.
Right.
And because I think I don't know how to answer people what my
Mm.
plans are. Like I cannot say I have this plan in, I am going to start a business, or I'm going to start a house, or I'm going to start philanthropy or something, and they would not be able to connect with that,
Mm-hmm. And
because
this
for them marriage is the goal,
milestone, yeah,
right? Yes.
which is
So
basically
I
our
think
theme
I
today.
would I either laugh and let it pass away,
Yeah,
and if they cross a line, then there should be a proper answer. Like if
sharp
they're
answer
saying
to the
just
face.
like that, it's okay. I don't want to insult people or something like that. But if they cross the line, if they try to be too nosy in my life, then
Mhm.
I should answer them back and tell them that please keep your nose out of my life.
Right.
So it depends on how people ask you and how people tell you.
Mm-hmm. So, what if this is quite a prevalent thing right now.
Hmm.
Companies in India during hiring processes, they actually ask, "Are you married? Are you going to get married? What is your plan? If you're married, in how many months do you expect a baby? Are you pregnant?" These are
Hmm.
questions our company asks quite a lot in India, that I have gathered some information from people who have had the
Hmm.
same experience.
Hmm.
How will you answer the interviewees with this one? How will you dodge this question?
When if I'm asked like that in an interview, then I would say that I have no plans for marriage right now, but I
Right,
cannot say in the future. Like I that is true. I cannot say what will happen after a month or a year, right?
right.
And if they ask something that I don't know myself, I will be clear that I don't know what will
Mhm.
happen,
So, for example,
right?
if you had known, would you go deep in your personal space and take it out in front of the interviewee, or how would
I think
you
I would
react?
not do that.
Yes,
I think I would not do that, and I will be clear about that. That this is something very personal, and
Mhm.
I don't find it okay to answer all these
Mhm.
questions.
Right.
So I think maybe I will ask them a counter question that what are your support system? What is the company offering for a married woman or a woman who is pregnant? Do you have
Mhm.
any policies to support such an employee? Or how is it? If you are
Mhm.
not woman friendly, if you have women employees in your company, how woman friendly are you? Like, do you accommodate all the uh, things that are happening in her personal life?
Mhm.
Because of course if you have a woman employee who is freshly married, might expect a child in a year or two,
Yes.
and you should be prepared enough to handle that, or to
Mhm.
substitute her temporarily with some other person, or to
Right.
give her a maternity leave, which you have to in any case.
Mhm.
Or do you have any other policies for parents, for new parents? Like probably I might throw this thing on them, like I might question them counter intuitively on what are the policies they have for married people, or people who are expecting child.
Yeah, that's a good
So
way
I
to
think
dodge
it
the
should be
question. Yeah.
given tactically back to them before they
Yes.
come on to you. You should tactfully answer them that back, and
Yes.
you can answer question them on their policies, right?
Right. Right. Of
So
course, it's part of
yeah,
our rights to question people during
question.
interview.
Yes.
But I personally haven't had such an experience while facing interviews in Germany. This has never been such a thing. Uh,
Mm.
has You have also given, you have been in Germany, you've studied in Germany, you've given, I'm sure,
Yes.
a lot of interviews. Have you been asked
Yes.
such questions as
Never.
such personal questions?
Honestly, never. They have asked me never such a question. But the good thing in Germany is that both the parents are given parental leave when there is a child. The
Mm-hmm.
mother is given a leave for 1.5 years,
Right, exactly.
like 2 months from before her childbirth till 1.5 year, till the child is like big enough to, not that small that she needs he or she needs her mother all the time.
Right.
And after that, the fathers are also given paternal leaves, and they
Mm-hmm.
can take care of their children. And they are given also parental leave together, like the number of working hours are reduced so that they can be at home with their children.
Right.
I think these are good policies, and even if they cannot give complete paternal leave to the males in India,
Right.
I think there should be a, kind of parental policy where they work lesser hours, or like now there is a COVID-19 situation and work from home is a new normal. I think this work from home can also be a part of a parental policy.
Yes, exactly.
So
I believe that too. Yeah, that's a good idea.
that can be a possibility. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, to accommodate new parents, to accommodate newer generation where both the father and the mother are working,
Mm-hmm.
policy in this company should come out with more employee friendly policies,
Right.
and this can be one of them.
Right. So speaking of Germany, we have entered into Germany so far with our
Mm-hmm.
discussion, and now we'll talk about a very crucial incident, a very how do you say this? A very important incident that has happened, that NRIs, NRA women don't like to come back to India, especially who are not married. So
Mm-hmm.
this has happened. I have my own experience, so let me hear yours first.
Mm-hmm. We'll hear about your experience too.
Yes.
But for my side, I think this is true because women who are not married, like
Mm-hmm.
in their 20s, the girls in their 20s and
Mm-hmm.
even in 30s, why they don't want to come back? That is one question. And the answer is that where they live outside India, people
Right.
don't poke their nose in their lives.
Right.
Like women are independent, truly independent. Nobody asks them vague questions all the time, and they can be themselves. And the second thing why they don't want to come back is because their parents cannot influence them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the parents to come to outside India and be with their daughter and tell them to get married all the time, the chances of front to front, like person to person contact or conversation is very less.
Right.
So the women who are outside India find a peace of mind to focus on their work and their life
Mm-hmm.
than answering big questions from the society.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the only major reason I find is why women from India don't want to go back to India. And and this is if they know that if they go back to India, they will be in a circle of friends and people and family who
And
will
relate.
put everything on
Yes.
them. Yes.
Yes.
And they will get them married.
Yes.
So again, the choice is being cut down when they come back to India.
Yes. So this is basically
So
an escape strategy from their end to.
escape strategy.
Yes. So this has happened. Very rare incident.
Mm-hmm.
A father of a friend of mine had died, and
Mm-hmm.
she was supposed to go back to go back to India to do the final rites and be there, but she couldn't. She didn't want to. This the whole reason was one of the parents had died, and that is a big cause for the relatives, for the con artists, the relatives to come into the scene and slowly inject such poison words or such
Mm-hmm.
ill beliefs, or something like to get her married in the same process. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
she will not be allowed to get married according to Hindu religion, to get married just after the death, but at least
Death.
fix something more like you make a pre-deposit of
Yes.
finding a
Yes.
groom, and then making a pre-deposit, and like, yes, stamp it, as in do an engagement. Stamping is almost like doing an engagement. It's an
Yes.
official
Yes.
way of saying, yeah, you're mine.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Even though you're technically mine, but yeah, you're not. Yeah,
Completely,
on a
like
physical, on a
legally
mental
blind.
level, yes, on a mental and physical level, yeah, it's not the your mine thing anymore. But yeah, this is one thing that she couldn't come back. It's really sad, and she wept. She spent a lot of time with us. We were in the
Mm-hmm.
it was in our friend circle, and it was quite difficult for her to not to come back, and also it was quite a difficult decision for her to take. I feel people who have taken such escape strategies, they really
Mm-hmm.
have a good sense of courage to actually come out of this. And it's not very common to see this.
Yes.
And later
And
on,
especially when her father is no more and she
there's no
couldn't
more.
attend.
Exactly. This is very, very bad from the society's point of view. They should somehow, there should be people in the society who are actually thinkers like thinkers in our generations. It's very important. And
Very much.
very much, yes, exactly. And one more thing, she was my roommate. Won't want to mention the name exclusively, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
every time I ask her, exams over, I'm going back to India. Are you not? She's like, no, I'm going to do a Europe trip. And every time she's always planning west. She's always away from the proximity of India. She's always going away. So I
Yes.
ask her. So someday we all sit together for drinks, and then we lighten up, we loosen up, and then we discuss what is the exact problem. Why don't you go back to India? So this is she tells us that it's the same thing. um, I was kind of handicapped in some aspects, and I didn't get a proper groom, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult for me to find a groom, and my mom has already found a groom that who's willing to take her. First of all, willing to take her, it's like only he
Mm-hmm.
has a choice to take her, and then he's willing to take her, but this girl doesn't want to be with him because she knows him very well, and she knows he's not the good guy, not the perfect match for her. And then
Mm-hmm.
these are some reasons for which she has never so far visited India. I feel I've never seen pictures of hers from India. Probably the another thing comes into play. When she's in India, she wouldn't post much pictures. She wouldn't want the con artists relatives to know what is happening. This is really bad.
This
It's
is
like you're
really
not
bad. I
living
mean,
the
you
life
don't
up to the
have
full.
that. I mean, this is really something that is not done. I mean, why don't you let her live her life? Let her
Mhm.
decide for herself what is good for her and what is not.
Mm.
If she has this is one this is what we are talking about, like why women don't want to go back to India and face all that thing again. And that's why they make some time, they keep some time to explore. They stay back here until they know that people will stop telling them. And then many go, many don't go back, and many find life here, many find love here, they settle down, and it's completely okay.
Mhm. And
So this is a kind of mental pressure that is always put on people. I mean, it is equally for men too, I would say.
yes,
Like
yes,
many friends of mine who are men and who face this problem
all the time,
most
yes.
of the time.
And when we come back and give our point of view to the audience here, or to the relatives or the families here, their only say would be, it's our cultures are not similar to the cultures you have been, and what you have extracted, what culture information that you've extracted from Germany or from other places. It doesn't work that like that in our country. Our country is more of traditions and values, and they have this reasoning always up in their head, and they cannot change this.
This is what I want to say here. There is one point, and like you and me, we both have been outside India, and there is a there is a term called outgrowing. Like when we left India, we had similar thought process, right?
Mhm.
Now we have an entirely different thought process. We have outgrown what we used to believe. And when we look at the society right now, we cannot match mentally with them because they are still at that stage where we left them. But we have outgrown their thought process, right? So this is one issue. And this is what we are talking about. Like, if they say that these are traditions, these are values, these are principles, then we should rethink. Like, we cannot apply the principles and values of 19th and 20th century into the 21st century,
Mhm.
right? The queen from 20th century can rule the 21st century, but even if when we talk about the queen, when is she actually come a lot ahead with her time? I think she has not. She is still a 20th century queen. She became a queen in 1956, which is almost 70 years from now, 60 years from now.
Mhm.
And she is still holding the values from that century.
Mhm.
So I think the society should be progressive. Values and principles and traditions can be saved. They are still saved, but that doesn't mean that you have to impose your decisions on your newer generations. You
Yes.
can still give them some space and put traditions in them, put values in them.
Hmm.
There should be a fine balance between traditions, values, culture, and giving independence.
Right. So it should not
So
always be. It should not always be that, yeah, things don't work the same way as in as abroad. It's not probably like that. We are in a progressive stage, and like you said, and we are free thinkers, and we have the after our legal age, we have the rights to choose for ourselves after knowing the
exactly.
after following logic. It's not that we are supposed to be forced on this, but yes, coming to this, our final say on this. If you want to really convince your parents, or if you want to really convince parents of the viewers who are actually watching us right now,
Mhm.
so how would you what are the some strong messages you want to pass right now, really
The
strong message that
strong
really
message,
changes them,
in here I would like to, we will put it in a conclusive way.
right?
The first thing is, when parents ask such questions, you should have a plan in mind. Like, parents are concerned when you don't have a plan, and they're scared that what will happen to you. So the first thing a person like us should do is make a plan, like what I
Mhm.
really want to do in life.
Right.
2 3 years plan, put it in a proper way, like do a mind mapping, or write down in a sheet of paper, or however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you, when you know that your plan is strong enough to convince them, tell them your plan. See, this is my plan for the next 2 3 years, and I cannot afford to get married in this span of time.
Right.
So when you have an impressive plan for them, for yourself, that you can suggest them or tell them and
Mm-hmm.
convince them, only then go to your parents and tell them that, you know, you have a convincing plan for yourself, that you are building your future. Marriage can happen a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them in the same way that, you know, if you get married right now, you will not do justice to the other person,
Right.
and which is not humane, right? And I think they will understand it.
Right.
So in the first place, I would always say that make plans for yourself, for your future. When you know that your plans are going to make sense to them, tell them your plans and convince them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our parents are our well wishers. They will never say something which is bad for us.
Mm-hmm.
And taking in view our point of view also, probably they might agree on what we are saying, but we cannot convince everyone. I would always say that it's your parents who should be the important part of your life. The relatives, the extended family, the neighbors, the other people, we cannot convince every one of them. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to make our parents understand that our lives do not depend on others. We will do what we think is good for us,
Mm-hmm.
and we will never not let you down because of our decisions in life.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take them in confidence before the other people can influence them. So this would be my message to all the peers, to all the contemporary people for whom we are making this video.
Right, right, right. And to the peers, especially who are themselves married and they would like to see us in the same shoes. And
Mhm.
any special
Exactly.
messages to them? Any?
I would say that, please try to empathize with us.
Yes,
You know, we are happy that you are married.
yes.
We want that you flourish in your marriage. We
Right.
want that you be very happy in the relationship that you have found.
Mm-hmm.
And we wish you a very good luck for you, for your life with your
Right.
partner. But you have to empathize with us that marriage doesn't happen in one night or in a 2 weeks time. It takes time. It is different for different individuals. And you shouldn't, you know, keep nagging us with telling the same old story: find a partner, find a partner, find a partner. I
Mm-hmm.
think you
It's not
should
very
stop doing
important.
it.
It's not very
It's not
important to
very
find.
important.
There are
It's not
many
very,
more things important in life, and we fail to
yes.
realize this.
Yes, just we don't need your support, but we need you to understand that
Yes,
we have a life which is different from yours, and you should respect that.
exactly. That's the point. Yeah.
And don't keep pushing us, you know, with the same old story that our parents are already doing. So what should we expect from you?
Right.
So you should start this sympathy, this empathy, like try to understand our point of view, our lives. When we get married, we will definitely tell you that we are getting married, and this is a good
and
thing in life. Like
yes.
it's a yes, and there is nothing to hide.
Right.
But don't keep nagging the same old story all the time.
Nice. So I always hear women say, "You're crossing your childbearing age, and you're crossing, you won't have a child again." So we probably forgot to mention this topic in our talk about children.
Yes.
So children,
Hmm.
how much is the population of India right now? Crossing two
It's
billion.
almost touching 2 billion.
Yes. So it's almost crossing 2 billion. So what do you think? Is reproducing that important? And it's very, according to you, you are going to be a future mother, or maybe sometime in your later in your life. Do you think some people say that they want to enjoy womanhood by giving
Mm-hmm.
birth, and some people
Mm-hmm.
people say they want to adopt because there are
Mm-hmm.
enough people already to create a mess.
Yes.
So
Yes. My standard on this is that it should be an individual choice.
yeah.
Those who want to have their own children, very good.
Mm,
Have your own children. Those who don't want to go through this crucial, this excruciating pain of giving birth,
mhm.
they should be away from that. Like this should be their own individual decisions. The
Not from the
individual
family.
decision of
Yes.
their of the couple.
Hmm.
And I, for me, it's like I'm good with both, but I still want to adopt in my life sometime,
Okay.
sometime in my life. I think I am a kind of person who is always nurturing in a way, and I feel that if I want to do good for someone, I would definitely adopt a child and give him or her a good future.
Beautiful.
Doesn't matter even if I have my own child, that is also there. But I'm not just close to adoption.
Hmm.
So I want to adopt a child and give him or her a good future. Like
Hmm.
it's part of it's like me giving back to the society. So this is
Hmm.
how I look at it.
Right.
And the number of single women adopting children have grown quite a lot. There is
People
a,
think.
agency called CARA,
Yes.
Child CARA, the Indian body for the central body for
Mhm.
child adoption, and they have, like I was reading a report, and they have seen number of single women adopting every year is increasing exponentially.
Okay, that's great.
So it's a very good sign because women are independent, they are living their own life, they have money and finance,
Hmm.
and they want to be a mother. But that is also possible without a partner.
Yes.
So adoption. Some are also opting for IVF, in vitro fertilization,
Mhm.
where they freeze the eggs and they
Mhm.
can be a mother later in their lives. I
Exactly.
think science is very advanced right now these
Mhm.
days, and there are multiple options available for being a mother. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter, even if you want to have your own child, you can have that without a partner.
So this should be a good
So
reasoning to our parents, to our peers
exactly,
who want us with a baby, or who want, yeah, exactly.
exactly.
This would be a good reasoning.
So exactly. So it should be a complete open and individual choice, I would say.
Mhm. So this, I think, this this process makes us good career counselors. Good makes us good personal coaches of our own lives.
I think so.
Yes,
At least we can give something to the people who are already going through this process, like us, and probably they can relate to what we are talking about.
correct. Yes. So we have spoken enough. I hope the parents are who are watching this are actually get convinced, or at least understand our perspective logically. If it's logical
Yes.
to you, follow it. If it's not logical, stay with your logic. Not a problem.
Mm, mm.
So if
That's
yeah, so if you have anything more to say, Swami, then we can go ahead with this, or we can stop this and wait and watch how parents react to this video.
let's wait and watch. Let's
Yes,
wait and watch. Let's see how what their concerns are
yes,
or what their views are, and
right.
then probably we can make
Come.
another video answering their queries.
That's actually good if we have a follow-up video with this. So we
Hmm.
cannot say we like, comment, and subscribe because we don't have a YouTube channel as of now. Or let's see how that goes. If it's still on YouTube, this video, then please do the same. I don't
Yes.
need to repeat it here. So
Yes.
yep, that's how it is. Okay, then see
Let's
you.
wait.